A teacher, an entrepreneur, a mother. Palesa Mofokeng was many things to many people, but to her ex-husband, she became a target. Join us as we piece together the puzzle of her untimely disappearance and the fatal price she paid for ending her marriage. Born in 1991, Palesa's life was marked by determination and hard work. She juggled her roles as a teacher, an entrepreneur, while raising a child, proving her resilience in the face of life's challenges. However, beneath the surface of her seemingly successful life, trouble was brewing. Palesa's marriage to Dr. Tumelo Ntholeng was far from picture perfect. What started as a union of love soon unraveled into a web of betrayal and conflict. As divorce proceedings began, tensions escalated, setting the stage for a series of events that would shock a nation. You see, this wasn't just another divorce case. It was the beginning of a sinister plot that would turn a simple separation into a headline-grabbing crime. How did a couple's decision to part ways lead to such a tragic outcome? The answer lies in the dark corners of human nature, where greed and revenge often lack. Palesa Mofokeng and Dr. Tumelo Ntholeng's love story began like many others, with hope and dreams of a shared future. They tied the knot in 2016, embarking on what they believed would be a lifetime of happiness together. But as we often see, the path of love isn't always smooth. At first, their marriage seemed strong. Palesa, ever the hard worker, juggled her role as a teacher and entrepreneur while supporting their growing family. She poured her heart into building a life with Tumelo, believing that their love could weather any storm. However, cracks soon began to appear in their relationship. Rumors of infidelity started to circulate, casting a shadow on their once happy home. Palesa found herself grappling with feelings of betrayal and inadequacy as whispers of Tumelo's wandering eye grew louder. The final blow came when Tumelo's new girlfriend entered the picture. This wasn't just a fleeting affair. It was a full-blown relationship that threatened to tear apart everything Palesa and Tumelo had built together. The pain of this betrayal cut deep, leaving Palesa struggling to make sense of her crumbling marriage. As the separation process began, Palesa faced yet another challenge. She found herself betrayed as a gold-digging wife, a label that couldn't have been further from the truth. Despite her tireless efforts to support their child and contribute to their shared life, Palesa felt her worth was being diminished and her intentions questioned. In a heartfelt social media post, Palesa expressed her anguish. A person will change on you, and when they found someone they believe they love, there's really nothing you can do but to just leave them. These words revealed the depth of her pain and the difficult decision she faced. The breakdown of their marriage was further complicated by South Africa's community of property laws. These laws meant that Palesa was entitled to half of Tumelo's assets, leading to prolonged and contentious divorce proceedings. What should have been a straightforward separation became a drawn-out battle, with Palesa caught in the crossfire. Amidst this turmoil, Palesa made the brave decision to move back to her mother's house. It was a turning point, a chance to escape the toxic environment and begin rebuilding her life. And rebuild she did. Through sheer determination and hard work, Palesa began to carve out a new path for herself. In 2021, Palesa's efforts bore fruit when she was able to buy her own car. It was more than just a vehicle. It was a symbol of her resilience and independence. This achievement marked a positive shift in her life, proving that she could thrive even after the pain of her failed marriage. As time passed, Palesa even found the courage to open her heart again. She began dating, sharing glimpses of her newfound happiness on social media. It seemed that despite the ongoing divorce proceedings, Palesa was finally reclaiming her life and finding joy once more. Yet, unbeknownst to Palesa, dark clouds were gathering on the horizon. While she was rebuilding her life and looking towards a brighter future, sinister forces were at work. The very act of asserting her independence and moving on with her life would soon put her in grave danger. While Palesa was rebuilding her life, Dr. Tumelo Ntholeng's world was crumbling. The divorce proceedings had become a bitter battle, with the spectre of losing half his assets looming large. South Africa's community of property laws meant Palesa was entitled to a significant proportion of their shared wealth. For Tumelo, this was unacceptable. As the divorce dragged on, Tumelo's discontent festered. He saw Palesa's potential gain as his loss, and the thought of her walking away with half of what he considered his drove him to contemplate the unthinkable. In September 2023, fueled by grit and a twisted sense of revenge, Tumelo began to formulate a plan that would shock the nation. Tumelo's first step was to take out a life insurance policy on Palesa with 4 million rand. This seemingly innocuous act was in reality the cornerstone of a sinister plot. The policy wasn't meant to protect Palesa or their child's future. It was Tumelo's way of turning his ex-wife's life into a commodity. But Tumelo couldn't carry out his plan alone. He turned to his cousin, a mechanic who had known Palesa for years. This cousin, once trusted by Palesa, became an accomplice in this conspiracy against her. Tumelo allegedly paid his cousin 32,000 rand, claiming it was for car repairs. In truth, this money was the first payment in a deadly contract. This cousin's role was crucial. He was tasked with finding men willing to carry out the actual murder. Eventually, he recruited 2 individuals, one of whom was known only as Maz. Tumelo promised Maz 70,000 rand for his part in the crime, revealing the cold, transactional nature of the plot. With the team assembled, the conspiracy entered its most chilling phase. For months, Palesa was unknowingly stalked. Her daily routines were meticulously observed and recorded. Every trip to work, every errand, every social outing became data points in a deadly equation. All the while, Palesa continued to live her life, unaware of the danger closing in around her. As the plan took shape, the true nature of Tumelo's character came into focus. This was a man who had once promised to love and protect Palesa. Now, he was orchestrating her demise with cold precision. The transformation from husband to would-be murderer was complete. The conspiracy stretched from September 2023 into the early months of 2024. Each passing day brought Palesa closer to danger, while Tumelo and his accomplices fine-tuned their plan. The weight of their secret must have been immense, yet they pressed on, driven by the promise of financial gain and misplaced vengeance. As April 2024 approached, tension mounted. The plan was set. April 5, 2024, dawned like any other day for Palesa Mofokeng. She woke up, got ready for work, and set out on her usual commute. Little did she know that this ordinary morning would be her last. As she drove her Nissan NP200 along Hendrik van Eyck Boulevard, Palesa's mind was likely on her day ahead, her plans, her dreams. But fate had other ideas. At a traffic light, Palesa's journey came to a sudden violent end. A blue Honda FRV pulled up alongside her. A man emerged from the Honda and opened fire. 8 shots rang out, shattering the morning calm and Palesa's car window. In an instant, a life full of promise was brutally extinguished. In a cruel twist of fate, Palesa's mother unknowingly passed by the scene shortly after the shooting. At first, she thought it was just another traffic accident. It wasn't until later that the horrifying truth emerged. her daughter was the victim of this senseless act of violence. The police response was swift and decisive. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, a multidisciplinary team was quickly assembled to investigate the shooting. Their efficient work led to a series of rapid arrests that would soon unravel the sinister plot behind Palesa's murder. Dr. Tumelo Ntholeng, Palesa's estranged husband, was taken into custody. Alongside him, his cousin, and 2 other men were charged for their roles in the murder plot. The speed of the arrest spoke volumes about the dedication of the investigating team and the strength of the evidence they had gathered. As the news of the shooting spread, the community reacted with a mixture of shock, grief, and outrage. Palesa wasn't just a statistic. She was a beloved teacher, a successful entrepreneur, a loving mother. Her loss left a void in the hearts of many. Social media platforms became a forum for people to express their sorrow and anger. One user's comment encapsulated the sentiment of many. When a woman dies mysteriously, it is always the husband or boyfriend or some man who wants her. This statement, well stuck, highlighted the pervasive issue of gender-based violence in South Africa. Palesa's tragic end sparked important conversations about domestic violence and the dangers women face even after leaving abusive relationships. It served as a grim reminder that for some, the act of seeking freedom and independence can come at a terrible cost. The case also brought attention to the critical role of forensic evidence in solving complex crimes. The swift resolution of the case was a testament to the advancements in investigative techniques and the importance of preserving crime scenes for thorough analysis. Moreover, Palesa's story underscored the need for a more robust support system for women going through divorces, especially in cases where there's a history of conflict or abuse. It demonstrated what's possible when law enforcement agencies act quickly and decisively. At the same time, it led many to wonder why such rapid response isn't always the norm in cases of domestic violence. As the legal proceedings began, the community rallied around Palesa's memory. Vigils were held, and calls for justice echoed through social media and the streets. People demanded not just punishment for the perpetrators, but systemic changes to prevent such tragedies in the future. The brutal end to Palesa's life served as a stark reminder of the potential dangers lurking behind seemingly ordinary divorces. It highlighted the need for vigilance, support, and a societal shift in how we view and handle the end of marriages, especially when there are signs of potential danger. One resident voiced the sentiment of many. We need harsh justice for her. This case has become a rallying point, sparking conversations about women's safety and the need for systemic change. The quest for justice for Palesa continues, serving as a grim reminder of the work still needed to protect vulnerable individuals in our society.